Hello everybody and welcome down here to the Hong Kong Football Club for the 6th and final round of the 2018 Asia Rugby Championship between the hosts Hong Kong and Korea. It is a steaming hot day here in Hong Kong. Everything is on the line. First and foremost, it's the Asia Rugby Championship. Will be won here today by one of these sides. There is the beautiful Asia Rugby Championship trophy, majestic, and the icing on the cake will be a spot to go forward to play the Cook Islands, the little tournament next year.
The side again, Wyatt misses his man, Gregan inside.
Here it is for Johnny. Heartbreaker for the Wallabies.
John Kelly.
A great try, Rodriguez standing on it, quick try, surely, that takes the Frenchman into the final.
That's right, it's the big show, everybody, the big dance in 2019. Japan, one of these sides here today, will keep the dream alive. Here's the current standings. Hong Kong with the advantage. They've got a 4-point lead over the Koreans. A bonus point victory should do it here today, or a bonus point loss will even do it. And Korea just trailing there by the 4 points. A big ask for them today, travelling here to the much higher climate. Bit of a crowd building up here. Got to be about 35 degrees, maybe 40 in the middle there. The Koreans won't be liking that. These two sides, they met a couple of rounds ago. It was 30 points to 21. There is Lee Jones and Di Reese, national team coach. Let's have a look now at the lineups for today. Here we go with the hosts, Hong Kong. 12 changes, 2 positional. And Neville comes into the midfield for Spitz. Connor Hartley, hat-trick last week. He's rewarded with his spot. He switches wings. Rob Keith gets to keep his spot at 15. And Nick Hewson, of course, on his 54th cap today. Look at the Koreans. 4 changes, 2 positional. Look out for a couple of superstars. Number 14, Jang Jongmin, leading try scorer, 4 tries. Number 13, Jang Songmin, outright superstars. They will have to be contained today of Hong Kong to come away with the victory. And there's our subs bench. How good has the bench been for Hong Kong throughout this series? The Parfitt brothers, Mick Parfitt particularly fantastic last week, along with Kane Boko. And no doubt they will be called upon today at the bench as I call in my co-commentator as the teams take the field under James Cunningham, the skipper. It's the one and only Jed Thorne. Good afternoon, Jed.
Thank you, Boozer. Hello, viewers right across Asia, Australasia, and wherever else you are in the world, particularly hello to our viewers in Korea. Welcome. It's a beautiful day. Conditions sparkling. It's hot. A furious heat is settled across the Hong Kong Football Club, and it's only going to be matched by, I think, the opening salvos from both of these sides. The Koreans arrive with what can only be described as a massive forward pack, and the likes of which, if they get going forward, could really put some pressure on the home side today.
That's right, so we'll stand by now for the anthems, firstly of South Korea and then the People's Republic of China. What a great moment, hearing the anthem on your home soil or on foreign soil. Nothing gets you going quite like your home tune. And great scene, Tamal Ambele there singing along in full voice. And you can see the breeze there. There is the home team coach, Lee Jones. Was at the Rugby World Cup 2015 alongside Eddie Jones with the Japanese squad. He knows what it's all about. And he's got the luxury of changing 12 players today. There's our Korean coach, Choi Chang-girul. He's taken the slot. First season with the big job for him. And here they stand with a chance of qualifying for the next stage, which would be a match, a home-away series against the Cook Islands on June 30 and July 7th. The winner of that series would go on to the repechage. There's Shuhei Kubo from Japan, assisted by his Japanese countrymen, assistant referees. Peter McKay is our TMO, and the scene is set here for a big one. As Jed points out, this first 20 minutes, there's going to be some shots fired, no doubt. It's Matt Rosley with the ball. He comes in for Rimini from the midfield last week. Rimini forced out. Rosley then gets us underway, gets under it with the 9-iron. Yu Kam Shing back in the squad, gets up and contests, but there is the Korean skipper, Lee Yong-sung, a dynamic and influential player. Got a little error there, gives Hong Kong first chance in this game, and it's hand claps and back slaps from James Cunningham as well. So good start for Hong Kong, not so good for the Koreans.
A fortunate start early on for Hong Kong's pretty much what the doctor ordered. Now through Liam Slater at number 9, very, very intelligent halfback. He's a real playmaker for Hong Kong. It's good early territorial advantage for the home side.
Here we go then. Korean with 47 kilos advantage. There goes Leighton scooting around the short side, inside to Lambele. Takes a couple on. Houston gets back to his feet. It's good from Hong Kong. Dan Barlow feeds off a short ball to Roberts. It's good defence though from the Koreans. Look like they've kept this up and they're looking eager here. Have they turned it over? Mr. Kubo says they were going forward, so good defence from the Koreans.
Midfield defence for Korea will be strong today. It's where they pride themselves. It's a couple of the glamour positions as far as the national team's concerned. Hong Kong will have to go there all day today though, unlike the other pitches that the Asia Rugby Championship has been on. The Hong Kong Football Club is relatively small. Basically nowhere to run and hide, particularly from big whoppers like this.
Here we go then. They've definitely got the weight in the front row. 16 kilos a man heavier, and they've got their timing wrong. Lambelo goes quick. Takes on the flanker there, Huang Hinzhou. Gets the better of him. Slater now looks up and sees his skipper, Cunningham. He puts his head down. They're inside the 22 now. Early chance. Rosley takes on the big hooker, Yu. Gets nailed on the 22. Slater throws one to Roberts, who wasn't looking. Gets in there and helps out. Here comes Woodward. First touch for Max Woodward. Short ball to Lambele. And the big lock getting the road there. Legion's short. Timely there because Rosley looked like he was on a line for the try line. Now their first real touch of the ball. It's the other big lock, Jang. And the intensity is here, and scooting off goes the scrum half, Shin Kichol. Showing their cards early, the Koreans, and gets away with the penalty too. Big forwards look up and say, what's going on here? As Shin darts off down the field. Good intent from the Koreans.
Cut and thrust, good to see early on. It's exciting stuff, isn't it? What a start. Get a real sense of a test match around this sixth and final game. Hong Kong keen to keep it right up at the gain line. You can see in those broken moments how dangerous Korea can be. Such an explosive outfit from 1 to 15. Almost like they were born to run into rapidly diminishing gaps.
So the Koreans with a line out right on halfway. It's Yu from the Hino club. Hits his mark. Here they come, the big men. This is Huang, the open side flanker, makes the halfway. Roberts with the tackle. Out to O, looking for the big man Jang. Lee Jai Bok joins the line. Woodward takes him down. Here is that big bopper we talked about. It's Kang, 130 kilos of Korean beef. Still stuck on the halfway. Good tackle down low. I think it was Jack Neville with the tackle, and he's done well there. Front foot ball there, and the Koreans, when they get a few phases going, which they don't often do, they're absolutely scorching. Good defence from Hong Kong though.
That just about spilled into the hands of Hong Kong and they're away. Look at this, Toby Fenn coming across. Naturally the seagull of them all manages to get himself in position for that one. Yu Kam Shing though, when you look heads up, it was going to be 3-on-1, and that's defenders on attackers. Well, it's Welling. It's early on, 5 minutes in. They've certainly got each other in the crosshairs.
Sladen is just his 5th international today. South African-born Sandy Bay scrum half, and they get a march on against this big Korean pack. Lambele through the legs. Yu comes off his wing. It's taken low by O. There it is, bobbling around. The Koreans have turned it, but coming back, Mr. Kubo for wheeling the scrum. It's two errors at scrum time for this big Korean pack. Got to trust themselves here against Hong Kong. And so Rosley will plug this down deep into Korean territory. There he is, cultivating a bit of facial furniture there, the valley pivot.
Well, the change is as good as a holiday, Boozer, as we all know.
Okay. Just outside the 22. Outgunned in the midfield, Hong Kong here. Let's see what they go with. Fenn peels around the back from Delaforce, who took the clean take. Fenn grabs another couple of metres. Sladen sets Rosley off. Woodward straightens, can't get outside Cat. Jiang Xiong Min. They come around the corner, the forwards. It's the skipper, Cunningham. He soldiers forward. Dylan Rogers dives on him. They plug away at the short. It's Lambele there, right up against the touch. Comes Cunningham again. Delaforce is with him. Dylan Rogers picks it up. The Biltong chief has a look. Looked like fair game there. Nearly a steal there from the Koreans. Hewson with a rare mistake. But playing advantage for offside, Mr. Kubo, and right out in front almost. What will they do here? Intensity of this opening 7 minutes.
Well, absolutely no need to panic. Just chalk up the 3, get back, you're 3 points ahead, scoreboard pressure. Be a great way to nullify the willingness of this Korean outfit, but they are not scared at coming forward, Korea, at any point. Still, good period of play for Hong Kong, and defence is something you've got to be happy with, particularly as it starts coming out towards the midfield. Keeping their shape nicely, working up on the ball carrier. Good pressure from Hong Kong. And a good chance to add points.
Rosley from about 5 metres to the left of the left-hand upright, maybe 18 metres in distance only. Puts that down the middle. So Rosley with the first 3. We're underway here at the football club. This final round of the 2018 Asia Rugby Championship. And I'm just thinking that's part of the game plan, Jed, is just to stoke up the intensity from the get-go to get these big Korean forwards, especially in the first half. The heat will die off a little in the second, and they will not be enjoying this, that's for sure. See them in the warm-up, just doing as little as possible.
Well, Korea are in a situation where they've actually got to try and make Hong Kong play, and to make them play and make them open up, at least give themselves a chance of getting through. Hong Kong, on the other hand, they'll be quite happy just to keep everything nice and planned and organised.
Lambele there with the sun in his eyes, takes it nicely, gets 5 or 6 metres, gets them going forward. Sladen takes his time, it's slow, looks like he's going to the box. Back deep, the winger, it's Kim Namuk, and he's made a mess of that. The sun at his back, so that's not an issue. Sladen sees there's no one home. Jang goes back, Sladen comes through like a little terrier, takes him down, gives up 30 kilos, but no worries. And Rogers there, his club mate. Good work from the big tight head to get down there. And another penalty. And the crowd are loving this. It is 100 miles an hour right now. And a little wider this one. There is Lee Jai Bok. Not much he could do there, going backwards, and had Slater all over him.
Great stuff. Liam Slater, he was always going to make a massive impact. As soon as you saw his name selected earlier in the week, yeah, that was really an all business affair with the South African born Hong Kong player. He's just one of those guys who's able to guide the ship around nicely. You see spaces, it opens up, you can exploit it. Good box kick, followed up by territory gain. Here we have Matt Rosley again, back in the mix. And this is the pressure that Hong Kong can exact on Korea. Very little effort, and they get 3 points for it.
Hurt his ankle in round 4, did Slater over in Korea. Looked like a career-ending injury almost, and here he is 2 weeks later. 3 weeks later, didn't play last week against Malaysia. Rosley now with a chance to take it to 6. It's on its way. It's gone to the left across the face though, so a let off for the Koreans, but now they're stuck down here.
I think the big let off is that I think we've definitely felt a couple of degrees of temperature come off the day already. It's a massive bonus not only for the players but for you and I.
We've got the benefit of some aircon in the commentary box. They go deep. Ukam Shin takes it, feeds it to Rosley. Here's Lambalay, just short of the halfway. The Koreans come piling in, but Hong Kong get in there and shore it up. In the pocket is Rosley. He stabs it down. This is Kim Namuk, and well read by Rosley. And Kim looks for the quick one. He's a bit of a midfielder, Kim Namuk. Perhaps not so at home on the wing, and just misjudging the strength of Rosley's kick there. He's got an almighty set of quads on him. And more pressure here on a defensive line out. You be looking for these big second rowers. No, they're not massive. 192 and 190. It's scruffy. Roberts comes through looking to seagull something. Delaforce goes around the shoulders. I think he's got away with that one though. They've turned it. Rogers puts his big head down. It's a face full of grit. Cunningham with Lambalay on his side. Roberts joins. They go wide. Woodward with a second probing run gets his boot out of the clasps of Kim. It's a bit slow though. They keep coming to the short side. Rogers, he's all over the place today. He's on the juiced up biltong for sure. Barlow with a surge. Cunningham. Fenn comes in and hoovers up around the outside. Here they go. Have they got numbers? Rosley straight. He's onto the post. He reaches out. And Rosley gets the first try of this match after some great build-up work from Hong Kong. An important 5-pointer after about 12 minutes.
Great scenes from the crowd as they celebrate Matt Rosley's try. He just quietly goes about his business, Matt Rosley. It's great build up by the Hong Kong forwards. Just staying right on the gain line, just hitting early, hitting it nice and close, getting that roll forward. Finally, Slater releases Rosley. He's a bit of a poker player. He's played the running card. Doesn't come out often.
Converts his own, so it's Matt Rosley 10, South Korea 0. But a good team effort so far, forwards and backs.
Superbly finished. That's just well finished by Matt Rosley, and it doesn't hurt being the better part of 6'2". Giving it the long arm, the big reach. Good try, well played, well taken Hong Kong.
So I think everybody's touched the ball for Hong Kong, except Connor Hartley and Robbie Keith, fullback and wingers. And here come Korea through O, goes down deep into the sun. Yu Kam Shing does well, gives it up to Tamar Lambale, just short of the 22. Korea now need to apply some pressure and stay down this pointy end of the field and get themselves on the scoreboard as soon as possible. Good challenge there in the air. It's Yu against Kim. Just lost. The referee goes for a skittle too. He gets up, cool and calm, and tough job out there for the officials as well. It is baking. We walked across the field earlier, nearly melted on the way to the commentary box. It's not weather for rugby, that's for sure. It's a battle of attrition. 15 minutes in, 24 phases to 5, so that tells it all really. Korea unable to build anything so far. Can the Koreans get their scrum going? They put the drive on, but it's gone down on the far side. They really should be trying to dominate this Hong Kong pack here.
It's really trickery. Dan Barlow is a fairly good target for any tight-head prop.
He's 108 kilos and he's up against Kang, who's 130. 22 kilos. But it depends what's coming up your backside that matters the most. That's good from Hong Kong, that's steady. Korea not able to make anything of the weight advantage. The arm is out from Kubo. Rosley with a little poke. Here's the danger man, first touch for him. Nothing he can do there though, as Robbie Keith and Jack Neville across him will come back for the scrum penalty. What do you make of that, Jed?
Very good scrummaging from Hong Kong. You saw how square those front rows were when Korea started yielding ground, and they just kept the drive nice and true. It was Korea that wheeled it off. I'll get a bit of a talking to for that, but that's a big mental, psychological, physical, emotional battle won by Hong Kong, and believe me, scrums can be very emotional things.
I've heard you call them many things: arousing, exciting, erotic, and emotional now.
Must just be the moon, Boozer.
So the big
waxing Gideus, perhaps.
So that's 17 minutes gone. Rosley just inside his own half. And it's short. Jang takes it on the full, gives it to Lee Jai Bok, puts it on his left, doesn't get the angle that he wanted, complains a little bit about the challenge. There's nothing wrong with that from big Jack Delaforce coming through. Hong Kong go quick. And it's all very, can we do that or can we not? As Slayton brings it back.
Unfortunately, the Hong Kong player just getting a touch to that. Exit play from Korea, so Korea get the benefit. But again, Hong Kong boxing up the Koreans, keeping them frustrated.
Good pressure coming on the line out. Here's Connor Hartley, first touch, hat-trick last week, scoots through 2 or 3. Jack Delaforce is all over him like a cheap suit there. And it gets turned over. Away comes Huang. He was very good against the Malaysians in Korea a couple of weeks ago. Our man of the match. Bit of a stumble there as Cunningham comes in and finishes off Cha Sung Kun. Making it hard work here, the Koreans. And the Hong Kong defence is rabid today. But Mr. Kubo penalising them, going off their feet, I think the call. And now a word to Cunningham.
Just the closing moments of this particular play. Kubo wasn't too impressed with, but really the pressure from that exchange was coming from Korea. They lost the line out, and yet they were able to pick off the Hong Kong offence close to the pillar defence. Hong Kong sort of telegraphing themselves a little bit. And the Koreans, they don't mind coming in and getting body on body. They're very, very physical side. So if they see some targets they can get their bodies on, I'll put them there. And I'll put them there with some real force.
Well, the Koreans only scored 3 points at this fixture last year at the football club after a fairly close game in Korea against Hong Kong. It's a scruffy line out, and that's not good. They've lost about 30 metres now, and he rather risky tries to kick it across and going to come all the way back. They need to get their set piece operating to the Koreans. The score 2 weeks ago, 30 points to 21 at Namdong Asiad Stadium. The Koreans scoring 3 tries to Hong Kong's 2, but going down. Rosley with 6 penalties on that day was the difference. For their sake, they need to get into the game quick, smart, halfway through this first half. That's a better scrum from the Koreans. Good platform. Now takes it forward a little. That one looks like it's not gone far enough. Robbie Keith from the back takes it beautifully and gets clattered. Brave stuff from the Tigers fullback as Sladen pops it down deep. Lee Jai Bok lies in wait. And who's back there now? Robbie Keith off the ground. Shakes that one off, dusts himself off, and back in the game. Rosley with the chase here. Lee again taken by, it's Rosley and Robbie Keith. In come the forwards and blow over the top. The Koreans somehow rescue it. Shin Ki-chol pops it up to the prop. Sorry, it's the big lock. Lee Jin-seok. And now they find themselves back on their 22. Here's Jang Song-min. We need to see more of this man. He shrugs off Woodward like he's not there. And Woodward, no small man. Holy smokes. This is Jang from the Kobalko club in Japan. Woodward's back on his feet, unfazed as well. This is Kang, gets a header, steam up. And they've turned it over. Big Kang there, not securing the ball. And it's a bit untidy now. Robbie Keith does the right thing, but he pops it straight into the hands of Jang, who fumbles it, and over his head. That's a lucky one, because that man with a bit of space will cut you open.
Well, a genuine period of to and fro rugby in the Asian Rugby Championship. And Korea, my word, they're all about go forward, aren't they? Wonderful to watch. The big Korean forwards, they're very athletic, they're incredibly explosive. Some of them have got some fantastic finesse play as well, just a little ball off the ground. The Korean side, well, I felt like they're just starting to find a little bit of rhythm out there at the moment. Hong Kong, well, they're certainly up to it as well. The fans will be quite excited about what's happening. Opening 20 minutes of this game's been fascinating to watch. Certainly the advantage has been to the home team. This Korean side, if they can keep just playing straight at Hong Kong, then it'll really work for them.
Just taking a water break now, but you can follow us on Asia Rugby on Facebook if you're not already. Asia.rugby for highlights, packages, full match coverage, comments, photos, and all the usual banter. We're also on Instagram at Asia Rugby Live, hashtag. And finally, also on Twitter, if that's your thing, at Asia Rugby. And how about Big Jang Song-min there, getting his first real touch of the ball, this NTT Docomo superstar. They need to get him into the game, don't they?
Well, let's be honest, if you were going to pick an Asian 15 just out of the top 3 teams we've seen today, it'd be the first name on your book. It'd have to be. We really haven't seen the best of him, but just ball in hand, the potential of the man's unbelievable. To see him leave Max Woodward here, just give him the shirk, really. Well, doesn't happen to him too often, I don't think.
There's Lee Jones, the Hong Kong coach, with Andrew Hall in front of him. Scottish international. Here we go then. Water break is over. Surely much appreciated by both sets of teams. Kubo tries to get some order in this line out. It's Roberts with the throw. Up goes Delaforce. You can't take it. Look out from the back. It's Kang. Takes on Connor Hartley, who's not afraid to come in and take a prop down. And together they have defeated Korea again. That Kang, I think that 3 times he's taken the ball into contact and they've given up possession. So not sure as we watch this replay. Delaforce can't quite take it. And it might have been a look at that, Hartley going in, and just his own player coming over there with a stray boot. That's a shame. They try to build some momentum. Here we are on the 10 metre. Slatem again to feed. It's a rock. Looks like they're trying to milk something here. Lamberley can't quite milk it there like a dairy farmer. Hewson would know all about that at number 6. Last week we saw Kane Boko at number 8, who in a dominant Hong Kong scrum tap dancing down the field with the ball bobbling around uncontrollably. It was a masterful display of football skills. A couple of Hong Kong players on their knees. It's Ben Roberts gasping.
They've been putting a fair bit of work in Hong Kong on Korea at scrum time. See the willingness to sort of go on with it. They know it's a fairly intensive part of the game. Koreans, not too sure how keen they'd be to keep hammering in repeated efforts at the scrum time, particularly in this heat. Could be a few problems too. Some ribs for Roberts, or is it a return of that niggling shoulder injury? Not too sure.
Jamie Sang just warming up on the sideline here. Skippered the team last week. Kowloon hooker, just in case Roberts can't compose himself.
I don't think they want to mess around with Ben Roberts too much. He's a massive picture of the Hong Kong defence, particularly in the close quarter stuff. And walking him off the pitch is no surprise at all. They go through this game and pull on the Cook Islands for 2. They'll certainly want the services of Ben Roberts up front. Hopefully he can recover in time. Not a great sight for Hong Kong. However, 1 leader off, 1 leader on.
Could be the groin by the looks of it, the way he's clutching at his pelvis. Popular player, Jamie Sang, as he come on. "23 minutes nearly gone here. We had a lot of rugby in those 23 minutes, just the 10 points. Korea still trying to get their way into this game. Mucking around at the scrum, so Lamberley goes quick. Huang comes out of the blocks, lowers him. Good clear out from Fenn. And Hewson, so the back row on song there, the Valley back row, it's an all Valley back row as Jack Neville cuts through like a knife through butter. Inside the Slater, beautiful final pass from Delaforce. The Sandy Bay players combine and they're in for try number 2 off a scrum infringement.
Terrific ball from Matt Rosley, put Jackie Neville into the gap, and then in the end, there he is. Liam Slater, good try, support play line, wide on the inside, almost in the centre of the park. The ball that put Jackie Neville into space, remarkable for Matt Rosley. And Liam Slater, well, he picks up the treats. He's done the work on the inside.
How about the hands there from Big Jack Delaforce there? A no-look pass, soft hands. And going back to their scrum, not sure exactly why, maybe just a bit slow, the Koreans. A gift for Jamie Sang. Comes on and orchestrates a try under the posts. Rosley makes no mistake. So the points rack up. It's Hong Kong now. They move to 17. Korea stuck on the donut right now, and let's see how they come back to the halfway line. How are the energy levels, the motivations?
Well, the motivations don't look particularly there at the moment in the stride of the Korean players as Tomo Lamberley looks back down the line. Influential figure of the Hong Kong forward pack. There's Liam Sladen. The team just seem to lift when he makes the park, when he's available for selection and fit. Means so much to this Hong Kong side.
Oh, Yun Hyung goes a little shallower this time and taken nicely by Cunningham. So they're having no trouble diffusing these restarts, Hong Kong. As the Koreans come round and try and get a hand on it, that's Legion's shot. It's nicely tucked at the back there. Hewson in 6 goes to ground, and it's Cha Sung Kun on top of him. Woodward's nice and short, but Rosley's back in the pocket, sees an opportunity down the blind. Yu Kam Shing spins out of 2, taken down in 2 tackles. They're on the front foot now. It's Rogers. It's a bit slower this time, popping it over the top this time. More pressure for Kim Namuk. Yu Kam Shing bearing down on him, gets beaten easily by Kim. Look at the gas from him. Perhaps a little bit of individual brilliance could spark the Koreans. Rosley's got his hands on it though, and looks like he's turned that over. Well done from the pivot. But Kim Namuk just gassing you down the sideline there. Perhaps a couple of good plays like that will put a spring in the step of these Koreans. Who was that who got smoked? Slater. Goodness me.
Look at that, he's just steamrolled over Slater and James Cunningham. That's a pretty good effort on its own. Matt Rosley though, it seems like every play ends with Matt Rosley. He's like the full stop of the day.
That's right, and for good measure he just pumps it down 25-30 metres. Jamie Sang takes a knee already, and I think it's Slater who's just recovering in shot there. A little winded perhaps. And I think Jamie Sang with a contact lens just to the left of Slater. He's okay as he comes past in the background.
That's Liam Sladen's regular visit with the team mechanics. Just about has one every test match.
He'll be off to the chiropractor on Monday. That's the sort of players they have, don't they? You've got Lee Jai Bok, Lee Namuk, Kim Namuk, Jang Song Min, Jang Jong Min. They've got to get the ball to these 4 guys with a bit of space. Sang looks for Lamberley, gets him, and nicely formed. They get a bit of a march on here on the 10-metre line. At the back with Jamie Sang. It's under the big wing, and the Koreans trying to organise themselves here. It comes out. Rosley takes on the line this time. He turns it over. Here we go. Danger. Up to the 10. Here comes Jang. Jang. Good tackle round the ankles there from Jack Neville. Well done him. But here they come again. It's the hooker. 120 kilos of Yu. Which way are they going to go? The arm is out. This is the big Lee Jin Shock second rower. Just didn't make the most of that. Jack Neville there saving the day up against Big Jang, giving up about 30 kilos in the contest. Offside though, and about 43 metres out. O has no interest in the posts.
Well, a very rare visit for Korea into the Hong Kong quarter. Just to see what they've got lined up for the home side. Remember, in 6, 7 and 8, they're the numbers to watch. Once they get going forward, if they get some ball and support, they could open Hong Kong right up.
There we go, they've got the line out working. It's slow though. Here's Kim Sung-gu, first appearance in the series, and he's lost that one in contact. His first touch of the series. Neville takes it down into the ground. Round the corner comes Hewson, takes on Lee Jai Bok and Slater now looks for Rosley. Lambalay though calls the loudest, puts the big fend on Kang, taken down eventually by Lee. Rosley this time gets it, tries to get over the top of Kim Namuk, and he does so. And dodgy bounces here at the football club. All the energy taken out of the bounce here on these artificial pitches. And Lee Jai Bok gets it away, but he hasn't made much ground, so it's a huge net gain for Hong Kong through Rosley.
Terrific kick by Matt Rosley. Great defence from Hong Kong on their 22. Koreans sending up number 12, Seong-gu Kim. They're losing the ball. Great nudge from Rosley.
Sladen playing at pivot. Yu on the dummy run. Barlow finds himself in a whole load of space. Taken down by Kim Namuk. There's no one at fly half. Woodward comes in. Has to come in. Big strong legs from Woodward. Sladham's on the spot. Yu off a short line. Puts the fend on. Shin Kuchol can't contain him. And it's try number 3. And the veteran Yu Kam Shing in his 44th international scores a blistering effort from the hosts Hong Kong.
Congratulations, Yu Kam Shing. Superbly finished, and he ghosted around and hung around the ruck until he saw the time to strike. The 44 internationals. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's picked his moment beautifully. Just came around. He was always in contact with Sladen. Sladen heard him. Spooned the gap for him. Bang. And in he goes. Outstanding work from the old warhorse, Yu Kam Shing, my word.
Well read there from Yu Kam Shing. Very well coordinated in phase play. There's Woodward there who shored up that attack. There was no one at fly half, and the big man came steaming in on a line. Carried 2 or 3 players, set another platform, and from there they shut the gate, and they are taking their opportunities here. We felt last week, even though the big win, 91 points last week against Malaysia, they left probably 30 on the field. They're finishing here today. Rosley down the middle for another one. 13 converted tries last week. 3 tries this week, and they are 1 try away from a bonus point. Here we go again.
And you just can't see Yu Kam Shing, but he's been in the last couple of breakdowns sitting right in the pocket behind Liam Sladen. Liam Sladen, again, just showing his class. You can hear his players. He can see what's unfolding. And he put the speedster into the gap. Yu Kam Shing had a wee bit to do, but you know he can.
Well, the restarts are shorter and shorter from Oh Yun Hyung, but Hong Kong have taken them all, diffused them all without any trouble. It's been a good display. Kim Namuk goes up again and loses it. And Jack Delaforce, he's all over the place. Comes steaming down, puts the toe on it. And with the sun at his back, Jang Xiong-min and tries to get through him, and hello, a double blast. He's reaching to the pocket as Mr. Kubo. Someone's going. It's a question of who, really. And it's the lock, Lee Jin-seok, number 5. No, sorry, it's the front rower. It's Big Kang from the Korean Armed Forces. And do we put that down to Dylan Rogers and co?
Well, possibly. He's a big unit, Mr. Kang, isn't he? And he's been worked on a bit today. They've targeted him. I think you're carrying that sort of strength and size, you're probably going to be the first to fold when it comes to a hot day and you're fatigued.
And Mr. Kang, he is big. He can't even squeeze himself onto one of the
naughty chair.
The naughty chair, the little
they've
plastic.
got to get the very naughty chair now.
That's right. He's on the. He couldn't fit on the IKEA plastic garden furniture chair, so he's sitting direct in the sun, So he gets 10 minutes.
Well, he's doing some hard time in the sun then.
No respite. Hong Kong plugging that corner, looking for this fourth try, which will effectively pretty much seal the series. They won't be content with that though. Hewson this time, off to Finn. Finn burrows over. There it is, try number 4. And you know what that means. They know it. They know what's going on. What a move from the line out. That's got Craig Hammond's sticky fingerprints and Ned Kelly's all over it.
Wonderful stuff. Hong Kong, 4 tries, bonus point, Toby Finn. Well, it's sort of been understated for this season or this series. But look at that, coming out of the halfback pocket and just barreling straight through a disappointing short side Korean defence. He wouldn't be stopped. He's a nuggety little character, Toby Finn. He's always got something to smile about. You get the feeling he's been doing something wrong every time you meet the guy. Infectious character and a tenacious rugby player. He gets on the ground. A lot of his work is done in places where people just can't bear to look, to be honest. And that was a cracking try. Beautiful move. Work from Hong Kong. Toby Finn standing in the halfback position. It was on all the time. Korea probably a little bit bamboozled after losing Kang. Not quite making the mental adjustment. And in came Toby Finn off the short down the blind side with only a halfback and a winger to worry about. It's music to the ears of any loose forward. Check this out. Here he comes. Straight through 9, lines up 11 and says, "You're coming with me, son, all the way."
Oh, they're just looking at that, Jed. Peter Mackay from Singapore. He's sitting next to us taking a good look at this. The refs are looking at the scoreboard. What do you make of that, Jeremy?
Hard to say. I don't know. Doesn't leave me massively confident.
Oh, hello. The call is going out. I think it's going to take on the winner of this series in the home away contest, June 30th and July 7th. And if you think it's hot right now, folks, join us in 4 weeks' time. It's going to be absolutely suicidal here. Korea then with a 5-metre scrum. Oh Yun-hyung has the task of getting Korea out of this tight spot. And what are they doing? They're giving it to Jang Song-min. Takes on Woodward and Fenn, and Rosley clatters the 3 of them to the ground. This huge man. I'm sure for everybody here and watching on TV, I'd like to see more of him. They relieve the pressure for now, about 15 metres from halfway. Roberts will feed, no Sang, sorry. Roberts is off.
Well, where's Hong Kong's head out now? We'll have to reset. Keep that intensity on. They're looking for that 4th try, and they are. You can see how they reacted to the false claim earlier. Bit of a power play coming from the home team.
Rosley takes the line on, nearly gets through. Up to the 22 now. The forwards come around the corner. Fenn's first off the rank. Had Barlow with him. Looks like Fenn's been held up. Gets to ground on the 22. Here's Woodward to Neville. Goes through the hands, maybe slippery. Oh, and Jang couldn't get the bounce. That would have been curtains. And that would have made it very interesting indeed. 3 minutes from half time.
You can bet that this man would have been gone for all money. Had that ball popped up at the right moment, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh.
Goodness me, he is electric. 4 tries in the series. He's equal with Connor Hartley, who he's up against today. 4 tries each. And you saw Liam Sladen with his 4th try. Scored a 90-metre effort against the Malaysians. A turnover. Split about 5 players down the middle. World class. So 2.5 minutes remaining. Stay with us. The series is still alive, hanging by a thread as far as the South Koreans are concerned. Connor Hartley's in behind the scrum. That's a bit of a mess. The arm is out. Lamberley tries to get away from Huang. Here goes Hartley. It's a hard one. He gets out of it. There's none to beat. He's going right through the middle to Slater. Try number 5 in the series. There it is. Let's wait. Yes, the arm is up. The bonus point is in the bank, and the crowd are delirious.
Well, you wonder about the strike power of Connor Hartley. Is it just the pace? Is it the timing? Well, he's got a bit of X factor about him. And the ability to somehow pluck that ball back into possession and then get on the gas and find the man on the outside. Very, very, very difficult to find that in the coaching manual. Look at this. Wheels in backwards into the gap and splits them wide open after literally taking the ball behind him. Well, Liam Slater claims the try for great support play once again. But Connor Hartley, guys like that don't grow on trees.
And if they do, it would be a Coldie tree. 198 centimetres, 115 kilos from the Hong Kong Scottish club. I first thought he was a lock forward. He's got a reach on him. His arms, these Koreans had no chance. Has there been a more dramatic entry into national rugby from a Hong Kong player in recent years or the last 10 years? Rosley from right out wide puts the 2 points on and adds to the misery. Steaming out to 31 points to nil as we look at this again. Reaching back, his arm's not quite as long, Sladen, but long enough. And he had the wood on Lee Jai Bok, who can only marshal him towards the corner. And 31-0. This is big as Lee Jones looks on, takes a swig of water. Is he starting to plan for pina coladas in the sun? Here we go again. Once again, it's Lamberley. It's been a workman-like performance in their own half. They've made no mistakes on defence or restarts and exits. It's been perfect so far for Hong Kong. A hooter goes as Hewson puts his face into the grit. Sladen says, that'll do us. Let's get out of the sun and take a well-earned break. There's a bit of biffo off the ball there coming in, and no one likes to see that after the hooter. Anyway, there's about 20 players assembled midway between the 22 and the 10 metre. They go into the halftime break. It's Hong Kong leading South Korea 31 points to nil. Stick around, we'll be back in a few minutes with highlights, analysis and the second half.
Yep, Com standing by.
Got it.
Standing by.
Welcome back here to the Hong Kong Football Club, where it's Hong Kong 31, South Korea 0 after 40 blazing minutes. Jed, why don't you talk us through this first half? 4 tries to Hong Kong.
4 well-taken tries, firstly through Matt Rosley, and it's all been his half, to be honest. He's made a lot of play. He's done a lot of cleaning up behind the scenes. And Matt Rosley has probably been one of the standouts in the first 40 for Hong Kong. Here he is, finishing off his first try. Playing superbly well. Also, Liam Sladen, look at him find Yu Kam Ching a long way off his wing in the centre of the paddock. Liam Sladen has been laying them on for Hong Kong all afternoon. Yu Kam Ching, he's been working hard, making the kicks count by chasing hard. Connor Hartley, well, what can you say about that? It's special. Liam Sladen running up the support line. And he's probably been the best of the home side in this first 40.
Yeah, he's bagged a double. That was the first of his 2 tries. So here we go then, just to confirm. 4 tries, 4 conversions, 1 penalty. Hong Kong have left Korea in the dust in this first half, and it looks like an impossible task to come back from here for the Koreans. It's a beautiful day here in Hong Kong. And I think if you look at the phases there, that tells a story. 34-13, Jed, and the Koreans making a lot of tackles.
Yeah, Hong Kong have been outstanding today at maintaining their possession, keeping the continuity going. And that's largely in part to Liam Sladen's ability to keep the ball aggressively at the gain line. And it's really done a great job for Hong Kong. They've put the pressure onto Korea. They've made them move backwards at a rapid rate of knots. And as the game really starts to heat up, we can expect to see Hong Kong to kick out very strongly indeed in the first 5 minutes.
So the heat, well, it diminishes as the day goes on, but we're only talking fractions of a degree here. There's a very small breeze, and well, the heat coming off that pitch, it just makes it, everything you do, very difficult, very hot. And the Koreans, yes, can they come back from this? It's unlikely. Of course, the Asia Rugby Championship up for grabs here today. Hong Kong having never won Asia's premier tournament. This is the 32nd year of the event. The Koreans have won 5, Japan have won the other 26. And look at these little kids here having a great day with their coconut waters. What a great experience for them. Toby Fenn there denied a try, and his legions of fans will be spewing about that one.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed as well. It was a magnificent move up front. They took it well, Hong Kong, well planned. They won't use it again, I don't think, not this season.
What has Choi Chungarul said to these players at half-time? It's unlikely they can win the series, but they could still, well, win the game or just end this series on a high as Hong Kong diffuse the restart once again. They've got the sun at their back in the second half. Rosley now is full of running. They've got this in the bag, so perhaps we'll see them open up. Jack Neville hasn't seen much ball. Rosley takes the line on, puts it back for Sladen. Coming on at pace is Cunningham. It's a good run from the skip. Here comes Barlow. Gets to the halfway. Rosley now this time goes to the boot. He's misjudged that. And here's big Jack Delaforce. Scored a great try last week. Here we come, up on the halfway. Woodward straightens, puts the big shoulder into Kim. Robbie Keith gets over there and secures the ball. Good work from the fullback. Barlow now and Cunningham. The forwards running wild. The Koreans go over the top but lose their feet. Comes back though. Sladen to Rosley. Hewson now. 54th test today. Most capped player in Hong Kong history. Round the corner on the inside. Robbie Keith pops it up to Rogers. How many phases is this? Look at Sladen there trying to get the big arms off, but he can't do it. And eventually it comes to an end. That'll be 15 phases there or more, but the Korean defence stuck to task.
Well, big strong opening salvo from the Hong Kong side. And already a couple of Korean guys down on their haunches at the moment. It's hot. They're behind by 31 points, and it keeps coming in steep and fast for the visiting side. We'll be probably taking a knee as well in this heat. Look at this. Wave after wave. Smart work by Hong Kong. They're keen to keep the ball alive.
Neville in the midfield there this week. Tyler Spitz just pinging his quad last week. So Neville, who's a bit of a utility, comes in. Not known as a midfielder, but making a good fist of it today. It's knocked back, knocked forward by Hong Kong at that line out. So we'll have a scrum about 12 metres inside the Hong Kong half. And, well, as a spectator, I would love to see the ball getting into the hands of Kim Nam-Mook, Jiang Song Min at 13, Jiang Jong Min at 14, Lee Jai Bok at fullback. We've got the firepower as Big Kang comes off the naughty chair. And I bet the naughty chair is rather relieved about that.
Well, they'll be letting the children pass by the front of the stand where Kang was once sitting now. It looks like he could be quite dangerous in the fairy tale sense. How will he feel, though? Will he be able to keep his side of the deal up? Hong Kong without any changes after the break. As Cha makes his way back onto the pitch. So, Hong Kong coach Lee James, scrum coach Andy Kelly, not quite convinced that it's time to press the button on the tight five yet. Still must have a few more yards to go.
Korea just need to get it out. Here's O with the ball. Jiang's on his inside shoulder. It's Jiang Xiongmin that gets it. Liam Slatem does well around the ankles to stop the big man. Somehow the ball comes squirting out. Hartley hits it at pace. Takes on a couple. Rogers at fly half. Here comes Neville. Got Robbie Keith with him. Kim Nam-Mook goes in and stops that one off at the pass. Woodward fends out of two, straightens up. Takes on Kim Nam-Mook. Rogers, what's he doing out there? Yu Kam Shing, it's a role reversal. And good work there over the ball by the inside centre, Kim Seong-gu. Good little cameo there from Max Woodward.
Well, good early pressure from Hong Kong.
So they've poked the corner. They've only peeled off about 8 metres. That won't bother them too much. Slatem there going force with the tackle. It's very slow though. Kang again. And he's lost it again. How many times has the big man lost it in contact? Here comes Woodward. Neville back on inside to Robbie Keith. Good inside ball to Slatem. And the arm comes out. Deliberately knocked down, says Kubo-san. How about Slatem with these tackles? Here he goes. He's absolutely dynamite. Neville with the chase. Lee Jai Bok going back. Here's Kim Nam-Mook, gets it onto the left. Covering's Robbie Keith, but he won't stop that from going out. Good clearance. Lambale appealing that they took that back. We're going back for a penalty, not 10 metres.
Liam running it.
Perhaps he's been given 10 minutes and Jamie Lauder might get an appearance here in front of his home crowd. And placement scrum half. There's only 2 back subs on the bench though, so I doubt they'll be too eager to roll those two. Rosley is just going to mercilessly plug this down to about the 22. No score yet in the second half, 6 minutes gone. That one's not straight from Roberts. They get away with it. Hartley off his wing. Takes a big shot from Huang. Pushes aside Yu. Here's Rogers. Oh, no, it's Barlow. Oh, and he absolutely bangs Lee to the ground there. Here we go again. They're lining up. Woodward to Neville. It's good defence. Hewson comes on a short ball. Gets hit by Siop. Slatem looks again to go quickly. but we're going back to an injury in midfield. Not sure, yes. Was it Hewson who did the damage on this occasion? That's Char in 6.
Blue card being hoisted at the moment for head injury assessment. So HIA test will be coming off, and this is the first series of the Asian Rugby Championship, which has been running the HIA protocol, the blue card, and they'll have a medical team waiting for Char as he wanders his way off. He's been given some bad intel to start with, though. He's been sent the wrong way. So Char will head off for his assessment, and it'll basically rules are that it's very similar to a head injury. If he comes back on or gets cleared, he can come back on.
Korea lining up about 4 substitutes here. They are going to roll the bench, and referee Kubo calls them on. It's a massive change. Here comes No Oki, replacement hooker in 16. We've got Kim Jong-min from Kepco in 20. He's a devastating back rower. And in 22, Park Hong-sik from the Hyundai club. What can they do with 7 minutes gone in the second half? Here we go. Roberts then, sorry, with a big pressure line out. There's all sorts of movement. It's Delaforce that takes it. The Koreans sack it. Comes back at slow. Slatham looks for Rosley. Neville gets it into contact. Woodward comes around and relieves him of the ball. Puts that massive thigh into someone's face. Hewson get that one to ground. Cunningham, Mr. C, trapped with the foot by Slatham. They set up a pod. The Koreans desperate to get their hands on it as Rogers rolls around the side, gets pushed back a couple. Now it's Barlow's turn, running like a midfielder, Dan Barlow. Tigers club, can they find a way through here? Kim goes in low and looks like he's hurt himself, the inside centre for Korea. Good pick and go from Hewson. And didn't really go anywhere there, so good work by the Korean defence, but they've given away another penalty back on the other side of the field.
Well, it's good hard by Korea. They're certainly showing a hell of a lot of fight, defending that line for all they're worth. I think they sense the moment coming as well. And even though Hong Kong will likely line themselves up for 3 points here, Korea have stopped them from crossing the line in pretty emphatic fashion. So a little bit of hope stays in there. It's kickable though, and at 34 points to 0. Just wonder whether this score or the next score might be the final nail in the coffin.
Interesting that the playmaker Oh Yeon-hyung from Kepco in 10, he's come off. And I think he's played every minute of the series, so we've seen no other. Nah, the loose head's gone off. Lee, the lock has gone off. And also the impressive flanker, Huang, is taking the field for Hong Kong. Max Denmark, who scored a couple last week from the football club, replaces Connor Hartley, I think it is, as Rosley lines this one up. Hartley only a couple of opportunities today, couldn't do it on his hat-trick from last week, but Denmark, well, he's an exciting proposition. Rosley bumps it down the middle. They get the scoreboard working in the second half. It's Hong Kong 34, South Korea 0. First points of the second half.
Well, Thomas Lamberley of the late afternoon sun. Korea, well, they certainly stopped the attack only a few minutes ago. took a big effort. They're trying to stay in the game, Korea. They've made some changes up front. Let's see how it plays out.
It's Park Hon-sik who's taken the restart, also from the Hyundai club. Rosley will look for some juice here. Gets it on the side of the ball though, and well, that was just short of going into Jang Song-min's hands there, with not much in the way of him. So about 30 metres out, line out for Korea. Can these fresh legs make a difference? A few changes here as Mick Parfitt comes on in 19. Adam Fulgrave from the Scottish club as well comes into the front row. Delaforce and Barlow are off. Good shift from those two. They put in a good 70 minutes here in the heat. 50 minutes, sorry. The line out's good. Here comes Kim from the Armed Forces, and that is some direct running that we've been missing. Good first touch from him. Here's the skipper Lee. Already this is looking better from the Koreans. Young Park gets them away. Hong Kong's defence just relishing a chance to test their structures and shape. Shin. Into the midfield they come with Seok Donggi, the big front rower. I like the look of this Park, who's come on, and he gets it away to Kim. This is the closest they've looked like scoring so far. Lee up to Seok. Right on the line, and I think they've lost it forward. No, advantage has been played for Korea. And wow, what a difference those subs have made, Jeff. Namely, Park Hong-sik at standoff.
Well, Hong Kong in the unusual mode of going backwards at the moment. He said right from the directness of their first carry, Kim went flying straight up at the targets there. Hong Kong not quite able to get on the front foot defensively and make the hit. Those first up tackles are just being a bit passive from Hong Kong. Korea doing superbly well, backing Hong Kong right up to their line.
Kim Namuk is okay. So referee Kubo was playing some advantage there for the South Koreans. That's the best passage we've seen so far. It was all about the bench players. There's another bench player looks likely to come on. Kang now spent 10 minutes at the bin. He's off. Like Max Woodward has left the field as well. The Koreans, they go straight down the middle through Seok Donggi. It's extremely slow. There's a Hong Kong player on the wrong side there. Should have been penalised. Look at this, Hong Kong drive them sideways. It's crabbing towards the sideline. Again, Kubo not happy with the rolling away effort there. Not sure who it was on the floor, but they got tangled up, couldn't get away. How about Jang Song-min with a head of speed up here? He's standing outside Kim Jun-hyuk in 23. There you see. Look at the shoulders on Kim. And look at Jang there in 13. How broad these players are. They're athletic specimens. They go for the scrum. Five metres out, just to the left of the uprights. They can roll it to the right a little bit. Get their skipper Lee coming off the back, running at Rosley. Here is Lee with the ball. Takes on Robbie Keith, beats him effortlessly, and they're in for their first try of the match, Korea, and that's good reward for 5 minutes of pressure, and that'll give them something to get excited about back in Korea. Good try to them.
Well, congratulations, Korea. They might call this a consolation try. I think it's some good reward from some courageous play. Kong just not mindful enough or aware enough of the threats from Korea. So they're working their way into some front foot ball.
Here's Park from out wide. He's gone across the face. What a difference he's made. So it's 34-5 now.
Well, Hong Kong early in the second half, they got up in the Korean half, right up into the quarter, asked some serious questions down on the goal line, came away with 3 points. From that exchange, it looked like Korea might have had a bit of wind in the sails. Then they made the changes. My word, the inside attack, particularly at the Hong Kong pillar defence, has been pretty abrupt. And they muscled their way down to the Hong Kong line and just basically took those 5 points. I wonder if they can do it again.
First restart of the game for Hong Kong. Rosley picks out Jiang. Nearly forces him into an error there on the sideline. Lobs it inside to Lee Jo Bok and pumps it down just short of the 10-metre line. Here is Max Denmark, this exciting 18-year-old.
Yeah, only a few test matches into his career. He's playing today in front of a fairly healthy selection of former Hong Kong players. He had a luncheon earlier today before kick-off. They'll be down in prime seats, enjoying themselves, probably making the most of the F&B opportunities as Toby Fenn leaves the field.
No, he's been called back on.
Well, thankfully.
Not so fast, young man. It's Craig Hammond telling him to get back out there. That doesn't look straight at all. Just got caught up in the spiral. So the Koreans congratulate each other on achieving that one. Now they get another scrum. Goodness me, I can't get over how big Kim Jong-hyuk is in 23. I thought Jang Song-min is huge. So he's outside Park at pivot. Jang Jongmin is on the blind side, the winger, and he's up against Denmark. What a contest between those two. And we saw that, didn't we, in Korea, Jed, where Jang skinned Denmark. And I'm not sure why they're doing this with a couple of massive midfielders, and Hartley takes that one and brings it back with a little bit of interest, a lot of interest. Neville throws it forward, I think. Yes, advantage being played as Jang can do nothing. Neville throws Jang into the boardings and Lamboulay gets involved. No need for that, fellas. All done with a smile.
Connor Hartley trying to start something up. Just forcing the ball. You can see Hong Kong's enthusiasm though. There's a bloodbin for Woodward. And Denmark leaves the field.
So here we are on halfway. And not sure what was behind that kick from Park. It was a shocker, first of all. The quality of the kick wasn't good. And the way he's been playing in this brief 5 minutes, he's better than that. Here he is, comes on, takes the line on with a couple of steps. Look at that, here's this big man Kim, taken down by Kane Boko, who's on in 20, and they lose it on the 22. The tackle from Woodward spills the ball out. Jack Neville gets absolutely poleaxed. Hartley kicks it ahead, chases this one hard. Kim Jin-hyuk goes back in 23, takes on Sang, is it? There's a couple of Koreans down, one Korean, one Hong Kong down in back plate, writhing on the ground, the both of them, as Rosley scoops this one up. It's dangerous here, open play. Tackle comes in from Jang. And the numbers out this way if they can work it. Robbie Keith gets poleaxed by Yu. Went backwards though. Neville now. Here comes Kane Boko. He's got some pace, this man. And there are 3 players down now, and I think the last one is out cold. There's going to be blue cards all over the place, I think.
Well, Kane Bako looks around and probably what can only be described as a triage point is The replay will show some fairly heavy work going in here. Look at that one. What a shot on Robbie Keith. And the Korean players come off worse for wear from that. And there's some concern around probably not only his state of consciousness, but also the alignment of his neck. So the medical team will be flying into action. Hong Kong at the moment need to compose themselves. They've got the ability here to tear the Koreans open if they can get themselves some good quick ball. And it's interesting to see the makeup of that tight five for Hong Kong has changed, with Mick Parfitt slipping in to what looks as probably the tight headlock side as Jack Delaforce comes off. And long term, lock might be the exact spot for Mick Parfitt. Pico comes on for Lamboulay, and making his second appearance for the Hong Kong side is the Texas Club player Chris Pierpont. So it's a change back three as they go to drinks. And I think, Grant, everybody deserves perhaps a little bit of a drink right now.
Yes, viewers at home, grab yourself a drink. The action has been thrilling here in the second half. Just the 3 points going into it, but my word, the Koreans have come out, rolled the bench a little, and have some real impotence, cadence. Zhu Kam Shin comes off the field. It was him that was injured. That'll probably bring Max Denmark into the scene again. So incredible to think that just the 3 points so far as this crowd continue to enjoy this day here. There's a bit of support.
Getting some social media going there.
That's right. Great day for the kids. Yeah, there's a little loose head prop in the making there.
Young rapscallions.
Ragamuffins. Beverages are flowing. One of Asia's best sports clubs, facilities-wise. Not sure if the Cook Islands match will be played here or not. You can imagine on July 7th, yes it is, I'm getting the thumbs up. July the 7th here. Holy smokes, it'll be hot. Unless there's a typhoon rolling through town. We're due for in a couple of days from now. Spoke to Lee Jones during the week and I asked him what weather he was looking forward to, and he said, well, they all hate it more than us. Let's keep the heat on. And I can't say yet, Jed, that the heat really doesn't look like it's really affecting the Koreans that much. No more so than the Hong Kongers as we come into this last 20.
Interesting to see where Hong Kong decide to take the ball from the scrum. Nice steady platform. Expect to see maybe Boko come off the back. If he can get past the Korean open side, maybe isolate the inside shoulder of the 10, Hong Kong could sweep hard into the midfield and onto attack.
Here we go then. Look at the Koreans. They have a spring in their step. There's Boko. Not much you can do. Slatum gets away from Shin Ki-chol. Here's Max Denmark. First touch. Look at this man. He's like a coiled cobra. He's on the 10 metre. Hewson, the warhorse. He's played nearly every minute of the series. Looking for their first try of the second half. Just goes behind Boko. Denmark steps off the right. Beats one, beats two. Gets taken down in 3 and 4. Jang the lock finally brings him to ground.
Moving some little confidence, young Max Denmark.
Rossley out the back to Neville. Robbie Keith just tries to bat that one on. And somehow Kane Boko's gotten all the way over there now. As Fulgrave lends his weight to the effort. The Koreans are coming up quick there, but Rossley breaks the line. He's got Slater inside him. He can't hold on to the ball. An unforced error. Just trying to readjust the ball. Slippery old ball, and Slater was looking good for 3.
Well, superb work by Matt Rossley here. He's just read the situation well, and it's probably a pat on the back. Look, it's a compliment to the way that he plays the game. He balances out his opportunities. He knows when to give the ball. He's constantly searching for space. And as I said, he doesn't often run, but when he does choose the time to go, he's a big man. If he springs into stride, he's going to take a hell of a lot of covering. It's just been right on the edge today, Matt Rosley. And here's two blokes that have put in an outstanding effort. Dylan Rogers, the built-on chief, and Liam Sladen leave the field.
Sandy Bay partnership. Penalty at scrum time. So a turnaround of fortunes here. Korean scrum suddenly working okay. Questions must be asked. So that brings on Chris Pierpont in 21 and Jamie Lauder on in number 22 for his fourth cap here at home for him at Football Club. Pierpont as well, Football Club player. The Koreans amble their way up to just inside the halfway line. Replacement hooker Seok Dong-hee here. Can they get something going again? Pilfered by Parfitt at the front. Out of there like a salmon upstream. And there's his brother Jack Parfitt on in 18. Replaced Rogers. Lauder with his first touch. Kang drives Cunningham to ground. Max Woodward comes around the back door from Rosley. Lauder pops it up to Sang. Good quick ball. Parfitt somehow gets right over there, gets a miracle ball out to Connor Hartley. They're making their way downfield, Hong Kong. Rosley to Hewson. Steps in. What a step from the blindside flanker. And they win the penalty. Offside, says Kubo. Will they settle here? No. Lauder says, let's get on the gas. It opens up before him. Rosley. It's got to be Jang. Jang comes back at him. Robbie Keith goes to ground. Scooting around comes Lauder. They're just 6 metres out now. Looking for their first try of the second half. Rosley has to go in here. They've slowed it down, the Koreans. Jack Parfitt takes that one to ground. He's got Pierpont over the top, 5 metres out. It bobbles out the back. Lauder sweeps it up. It's on the ground though. And Fulgrave swoops on it, but they've lost that there. So 18 minutes left in the second half, and it's Korea leading the points in the second half.
Korea, great desperation from this team. Gee whiz, they've come with a ton of fight in them today. Hasn't worked out their way at all, really, but still, they're covering the yards, they're covering themselves, they're defending desperately. Jamie Tsang, he takes a few yards out of them. And the defence, always willing, it may not be always accurate. It might also be a little bit blind. And it's always going to be someone in a Korean jersey who's going to be coming flying at you from some direction. And Hong Kong with an opportunity here now. Korea are on the ropes, and they send them to the floor.
Four of the forward subs today from the Hong Kong Scottish club, the Parfitt brothers. Fulgrave, Kambo Koda at the back. Will we see him come off the back here? No, it's a Korean ball. The Koreans don't look too deep, look like they're expecting a kick here. What have they got cooking? Go to the right hand side to Kim. Takes Rosley on. Rosley round his ankles. Gets no change out of Rosley. Fulgrave, next cab off the rank. Kang takes it in, and Parfitt can't keep his feet. Got pulled into that one, did Mick Parfitt. And a bit of chirp, says Kubo. Now, who would do such a thing? So what an exit that'll be from a 5-metre scrum. Trying the impossible. Park gets it up to about the halfway line here, and they'll start again. 64 minutes into this match. The sun takes a bit of a duck and a dive behind the clouds, so enjoy this for a few minutes. Shot. Shin Ki-chol. Here comes big Kim Jin-hyuk again. Fantastic, gets the legs going, springs out of Cunningham's tackle. Shin Ki-chol. That's gone forward, but they're offside, so the discipline here from Hong Kong becoming a bit of a worry. And well, the first time they've been put under pressure and they're giving away the penalties. Didn't get a number there. 11 penalties conceded now. Well, that's interesting. 11 versus the 9 conceded by Korea. As Park pumps that one down onto the roof.
All important line out for Korea. They must get down here and look to expose Hong Kong up front. They're certainly within range. They've got the manpower.
Line out's working well. Here comes Kim again. Takes on Rosley and Woodward. Two of the big men on the inside backs. They go back towards the forwards. Shin Ki-chol back to skipper Lee. Gets scragged to the ground by Boko. That's No, the replacement hooker. Hewson gets underneath them. This is Jang. They're getting ever so close. Can they nail another one here? No, they can't. They've been penalised. Who was it? Rosley, was it? He's getting the accolades from Boko. Yes, it was.
It certainly does look like Matt Rosley was in there again. On his feet, attacking the ball. Well, 14 minutes to go. If you can't put Matt Rosley at the top of the MVP list, I don't know who you can put there. Liam Slater might be in with a chance, but Rosley on both sides of the ball today, whether it be attack or defence, he's come out with some great plays. Defensively, that might have been the best one yet.
Jang Song Min takes back to the field. Not sure why he was off. Perhaps it was a blood or HIA. Anyway, so he's gone onto the wing where we've seen a lot of him. He's onto the left wing. Sang now looks for Boko, gets up high. Hewson provides the link. Lauder goes high. Jang Song Min, and Max Denmark knows he's got to get onto him super quick. Does so. Park now just probing for some turf back there. Robbie Keith's got it nicely covered. Good fullback play. Lauder's back there with Rosley. Boko. Mick Parfitt's outside him. He's got some gas as well. Taken down on the 10 by No. And they're lining up. They're a bit static there. They come around the corner too quick maybe as Cunningham goes to ground. Rosley looks out for Jack Neville. Woodward's coming around. Robbie Keith's out wide. Connor Hartley's licking his lips. Not going to get to him this time. Maybe it is. Yes, it is. The big cutout pass from Lauder. He cuts inside, makes a beeline for the post, tries to mow over Lee Jai Bok. Puts a speed bump in front of him. Lauder, he's on the spot. Boko deprives Hewson of that one. And a little knock on as he goes to ground there in the tackle. Goodness me. The bench players making a difference here for Hong Kong too.
Yeah, Boko will be unhappy with himself there. He just backed into the target. It's a great break from Hartley. They've done some superb work down the far side, Hong Kong. Looking to carry that momentum on. A bit of a desperation pass, then Boko just closes the ball off and leaves it exposed to the defender as he leads with it. He'll be unhappy with that. He's been also, with his appearances from the bench, Kane Boko, he brings a real dimension to the Hong Kong play. Still, it's Korean side. Thwart yet another attack from Connor Hartley and his cohort. Young Michael Parfitt.
Spitting a bit of blood there.
It's all right. It's a bit of Rubbins racing.
What a game he had last week, coming off the bench. He got a full 40 minutes in the second half. Standout. Good to see Big Kang there, tight head prop, getting across to make that last tackle. Goodness knows, I know he's had 10 minutes in the bin, but how is a big man like that still out there after 68 minutes? Here we go again. Set piece has improved dramatically for the Koreans. Here's Park. Kim comes back on the short ball. Sorry, it's Kim Namuk this time. Comes in off the wing. Actually, he's gone to midfield now by the looks. Kim Jin Hyuk that plays the link. They're on the 10 metre there. It's Lee Jai Bok on the ground. Look at that. Out of the blocks comes Adam Falgrave. Looks like he's played in the centres all his life. Good line speed. The Koreans struggling to get across the gain line here. Now there's something cooking. Here comes Jang. Max goes around his legs. Pulls him down. What a battle. Look at Lauder there. Goodness me. There's players all over the field as Rosley sizes it up. Runs into one of the biggest men on the field, Park. 126 kegs of him. And, well, what's going on here? There are players all over the field. Can they find their way through? Woodward does so. Gets the impetus. Taken in a, well, high Chris Pierpoint. Not high around the chops, chest. Coming back for a penalty about 5 metres inside the Korean half, offside. Parfitt blowing the big ones, and why wouldn't he?
Well, down on one knee, it's pretty hard work, even if you are winning by 29 points. And I think the option just to slow it all the way down a little bit, pulling some recovery breaths, finish this game as strongly as possible. Good move by Hong Kong.
Can he clear a table from here? Just a couple of steps. Looks like he's got under that one. Looks like it's short. It is. Just grazes underneath the crossbar there, but they're still on attack. So just the 3 points in the second half to Hong Kong. One try to South Korea. 9 minutes remaining. As Park goes deep to Hartley. That'll be Keith to Boko. Here they come, just getting it wide as quick as possible. Oh my goodness, Cunningham gets upended. They're going to take a look at that. Here comes Denmark. Denmark down the wing. Going low was Park. A beautiful covering tackle, my word. And they come back for that first look. Dangerous tackle on James Cunningham. What do you see, Jed?
Terrific stuff, Max Denmark. We said earlier he was looking like he was moving with some real confidence. Look at that. That is just uncoachable. The ability to spring and then get on the gas, my word. Hasn't he got some fantastic straight line speed, Max Denmark? He should be smiling about that. He's bristling with enthusiasm. Look at this kid.
Great covering tackle from Park Hong-sik. Why have we not seen this young man in the series? They've gone with Oh Yong-hyun the whole series, who's been okay. His gamesmanship hasn't been great, and the penalty does go to Hong Kong for that tackle. That could have been a lot worse. Didn't quite go over the 90 degrees, thankfully. They plug it down, and they're about 18 metres short now. Desperate for a try in the second half. They've almost been outplayed of Hong Kong. It's been fairly even. Sang now looks for Hewson. He locks that one up and pops it back to Lauder. Here's Big Jack Parfitt. Fulgrave there with the error. Shakes his head, and just a few more errors coming into this game in the last 20 minutes with the exhaustion, the slippery ball. There's another Korean down, seeking attention.
Well, Adam Fulgrave here just making a mess of that pass from Lauder. This is the area of the game I think where Lee Jones will be coming back on the team talk this week as they assess how this game has gone. Don't want errors, particularly from the likes from your bench. Little skills errors. They need to understand when they go through to play against the Cook Islands, these kind of errors, these kind of lapses in concentration, skills and effort, they will count against you. The stronger the opposition, the harder the rebuttal will be if you make a mistake. Korea put up such a brave effort. Really, they came down to face a Hong Kong side who have planned meticulously this campaign. A few happy faces there. Tremendous to see. A couple of bewildered faces there. Easy to understand.
Stretcher is out for one of the Koreans. Korean flag proudly displayed there amongst some of the faithful. And do you think Coach Choi Changarul has got some of his selections wrong here? He's brought in some of these players who have made a big difference in the second half. It's the old question, isn't it? Is it because they've come on against a tiring Hong Kong side, or are they that good that they're able to, you know, perhaps take that position on the run on 15?
Well, it's true that the Koreans did make the change earlier than Hong Kong. It was a case of Hong Kong's bench perhaps taking a beat or two to come up to speed. Here's a couple of ladies up to just about up to full speed at the moment. In fact, they might be flying by the end of the 80. A couple of real cheerleaders. Shot of the Hong Kong bench, the wider squad. Characters like Craig Lodge coming in. Put it on, son. Put the jersey on, my boy. Paid all that money for it. Slip it on, Tiger.
Looks a bit small. He's putting a bit of pounds over the off-season, perhaps. Can't quite fit it on.
Never shake a baby, lady. Never shake a baby.
Doing the Michael Jackson up there. There's Chris Garvey, coach of the Sandy Bay Ladies.
They go wide again. They see the screen. They love the screen.
It's a global phenomenon, isn't it?
Well, great shots from our camera operators. Deadly hairdo. Got the perm early on as a young man. Terrific work by the medical team. Very, very experienced. Very slick. You see them drilling and rehearsing all the time. There's a ton of experience around that stretcher, so don't worry about the player. I think he'll be fine. Maybe his pride will take some bouncing back though.
Here we go then. 6 minutes remain in this 2018 Asia Rugby Championship. An interesting series with the Malaysians coming in for Japan. Shin Kichol, it's at Lee's feet. Here he goes again, throwing himself at him as Lauder off the ground, 2 feet off the ground, launches himself at Big Kim. Parfitt with the first tackle. And just the retention there. Here comes Neville, steps off the left, still going. Inside is Lauder in front of the sportsman's bar, gets try number 5, and finally Hong Kong score in the second half. Jack Neville did the hard work. Lauder, as Slatham has been doing all day on the inside. It's good number 9 play.
Well, that should bring the curtain down on this Korean effort for 2018. is Hong Kong through the attacking flair of Jack Neville. Look at that. Left foot, as Boozer was saying, he's always just on the edge of exploding, isn't he, Jack Neville? And Jamie Lauder, well, it'll pay to be one of Jamie Lauder's friends in the Sportsman Bar tonight here at the Hong Kong Football Club.
Third try of the series too, so the scrum half's really getting involved. Five for Sladen. Puts him leading try scorer of the series. Lauder's in for his third there. We saw young Henry Poon last week as well make his debut. And here's another exciting prospect. So Hong Kong stacked with 9s at the moment as that one fades from Rosley. I think that's one of his only misses of this past 2 weeks in these home games. So they're now ticking over to 39. 39 points to 5 as we come close to the end of this second half. $91 points last week against Malaysia, 39 here today. Oh, Parfitt goes up and beautifully controls that one, and they gather around him. Spills out though, Jong Min, first chance with the ball, delivers. Park to Kim Namuk, takes the inside shoulder of Neville, he does enough. Woodward comes and finishes him off. Oh, and that's really disappointing for the Koreans as Fulgrave gets it on the bounce now, and there's no one at home, so Lauder sticks it down deep, and Denmark is tearing off after this. Substitute Lee's going to look up and see big Max Denmark on him, and lucky for him, it bobbles over the sideline.
Well, a great lesson for all kids at home, boys and girls. If you're watching this, a great example from the winger Max Denmark, number 23. The kick goes down range, get after it. That's the lesson to learn. You can turn an average kick into a great kick if you chase like hell. So put that one away in the coaching manual, kids. Chase your kicks.
Just that little error by the Koreans sees them 70 metres backfield, and it's untidy again at the line out. They're on the back ball, shoveling it out. Cunningham, check out the big motor on him to go 77. Lee Jai Bok can't get round Neville, who is a demon of a tackler. All 80 kilos of him. Hasn't looked out of place in the midfield. Fulgrave with the tackle, Sang with the steal, is on his feet. Lauder now looking sprightly. Out it goes across the front of the posts. And all sorts of miscommunications, and it's a bag of spanners. That could have been another try quite easily.
Well, it should have been another try. Hong Kong just, well, blinking a little bit with the line wide open. Jamie Lauder got off the base of that ruck, and Hong Kong was flying forward at a rapid rate of knots. So caught everyone by surprise. Max Woodward, well, he's in a hell of a battle in the midfield today. Matt Rosley and Max Woodward. Look at this. Hewson spills it back. Although, to be fair, there was one pretty ordinary pass backed up by another terrible pass, creating a shocking pass.
It doesn't get any better when you shovel something. So 2 minutes remaining. Waters are on. There's an injury down on the far side. Jamie Sang is back on his feet. There he comes. It was him that got the turnover. Take his place in the front row. Parfitt and Fulgrave. There's no momentum lost at all with young Jamie Lauder coming on at 9. He's just as eager and fired up as Sladen. Clapping away, chirping away. Another defensive scrum here just outside their 22. scrum is a no contest almost at this point of the game. Coming around on the double round is Shin Ki-chol, can't take it. This is Lee Myung-gyun. The replacement halfback finds himself playing out in the three quarters. Shin Ki-chol gives it benevolently to Fulgrave, who can't find Parfitt. So it's just a lot of errors in these final few moments of this match. Everybody's taken their foot off the gas. The concentration levels, as perhaps they all think ahead to what comes next. Last minute of the game, 39-5.
Well, Korea looking at the final moments of their Rugby World Cup qualifying journey. On the other hand, though, as the sun sets on the Koreans, Hong Kong go into tonight knowing that they'll be following the playing group of 2015. They went all the way to Uruguay to have a crack at it. Can this group under Lee Jones take it one step further?
Lauder. It inches back. Boko struggles to get it out there and Shin's all over him. Good work from the young scrum half. Lauder gets pumped again there by Siok coming around the corner as the hooter goes. And that went backwards, said the ref. Denmark Howe, he just kicks it out. And will they call time? Yes, they do. Referee Kubo calls time on this terrific contest here. The sixth and final round of the Asia Rugby Championship. There's hugs all around. The crowd applaud as one. They see a Hong Kong team on the up, on the improve. And these players, they'll be bristling with excitement after this. What a series it's been for Hong Kong. And Jed, 39 points to 5, a fair scoreline. And as I said, a team on the up, 39 points to 5. How's that going to be feeling as they hit the changing rooms after this?
Well, they've got to be satisfied. Job one was getting the win. They've got the win. They've had plenty of opportunities to keep the discipline and pressure on themselves. For the most part, they've gone out and played attractive football. And congratulations and no credit lost to the Koreans. Such a natural bunch of rugby players. Very, very aggressive, very exciting. Let's hope this next World Cup cycle produces even more exciting players from the South Korean Republic.
That's right, the old 4-year cycle. It's a tough thing, isn't it, when all the focus goes on to preparation for this series, for the Asians anyway. And as we go through some highlights now from the second half, the Koreans there through their skipper, Lee Hyong-sung, his second try in the series. He's been a standout at number 8 for the Koreans. Here we saw it. They were starting to dominate at scrum time, and Lee took the ball by the horns, and Houston gives him a little bit of how are you around the neck for good measure. And here we saw Neville inject himself with the left and the left, and Lauder just timed it nicely. Wasn't easy. He had Lee Jai Bok on him. He got rid of him and gets his third try of the series, the young man. Good chance in this series for Jack Neville to step up. What a utility player he is, just in his 7th international today. And it's handshakes all around, setting up for a presentation down here of the trophy. And we'll have a now look at the scoring summary here. Hong Kong 5 tries to 1, 4 converted. Add that to their 13 tries last week, all of those converted. And Korea, well, last year here at this fixture they lost 43-3, a very similar scoreline. Just the 1 try for them. They had some big wins against the Malaysians on the series. Came quite close, and Korea against Hong Kong went down 30 points to 21. There are the stats. 86 tackles they had to make. And, well, just the amount of territory and possession that Hong Kong had. They put on 74 phases. And Korea, well, 37 phases and 80 minutes of rugby is just not enough, really, Jed.
Well, not really. I think it also highlights the amount of input that Hong Kong had into the game. They came hard out of the blocks early on in the first half. They set up a lot of good platforms. They were accurate. And Liam Sladen was running the cutter, finding space left, right and centre. You can't understate the impact of Matt Rosley playing at fly half today. What an effort he put together. There's plenty of congratulations going around that group, as there should be, and I like the look of Kane Bako. He's managed to swap his jersey out for one of the Koreans. That's pretty old school at an international, but good to see the sportsmanship and the respect that both teams have had for each other.
Okay, we're going to go now to Aaron Stockdale, who's got James Cunningham, the victorious skipper.
JC, congratulations. Won the Asia Rugby Championship for the first time. How does it feel?
I'm ecstatic. The boys really put in at the start there, and we started fast and the Koreans just couldn't keep up with us. So exactly what we want to do. A little bit disappointed with the end there because we fell away just like we did last time, and we kind of let them back into the game with a few silly errors. But I'm ecstatic. It's great to move on. We've kind of done exactly what we wanted to do. So we've played the game really well. We've done some really good things, scored some great tries, and looking good going forward.
And obviously, moving forward here, the big carrot in terms of the Asia Rugby Championship this year was to move forward in terms of Rugby World Cup qualification. Look, how does it feel to be moving forward in terms of the next stage and obviously taking on the Cook Islands?
Oh, it feels unreal, It's a real historic moment today for Hong Kong, winning their first ARC, and just to go forward and play the Cook Islands in the next part of the repertoire is just such a great thing, and it's great for the boys. There's a lot of boys that have given up a lot in this team. We've got full-time players, we've got sevens players, we've got part-time players, and we've all come together, and we've done something special today, which is really exciting. So we're all really looking forward to the next big trip.
Look, let's wrap it up there, and I'll let you get back to your team and the presentation.
Yeah, cheers.
Some very probing questions there from Stockdale, and Cunningham ecstatic but also candid about falling off at the end. Here are the final standings. Hong Kong there with the 19 points, 227 points, and Korea falling away with 10. And yes, the first victory for Hong Kong in the 32nd edition of the Asia Premier Tournament in its various formats throughout the years. And what a good skipper he is, Jed. Looks like he's made for captaincy.
Yeah, he's very proud of his squad. He's happy to pass on credit to the guys and the sacrifices they've made. And he's himself experiencing a lot of probably emotions as well, because winning the Asian Rugby Championship is actually quite a significant act in and of itself. And for this Hong Kong group to do that, it could be a long time between drinks as Japan most likely make their way back into the mix once the qualification process is complete. And it's no mean feat to try and bridge the gap with Japan. And Hong Kong have done superbly well. All the squads, they've definitely approached it with the most organised, most professional approach. On and off the pitch, they've made a big effort in planning their way through, and I think we've seen across the 6 weeks a Hong Kong side that's not only improved in performances, but I think they've peaked as well. This has been, for me, by and far Hong Kong's best performance of the Asian Rugby Championship.
That's right, Lee Jones has blooded a few players throughout this series, and it was a chance to see the Malaysians in action for the first time, and well, they would have learned a whole lot out of this. Did that experiment work? We're not sure. They took some shellackings, but good exposure for them in lieu of the Japanese being here as the Hong Kong squad assemble for receiving that magnificent trophy. And it really does get the heads turning. Here we have the World Rugby representative for Asia, Trevor Gregory, handing the trophy to James Cunningham, his third assignment as captain over this Hong Kong side, and he looks at home with the roll and with that big mug in his hand. There's Tyler Spitz behind him. His quad seems to have fixed itself. There you go, viewers. Hong Kong, undisputed champions, 4 wins from the series. They've been head and shoulders above Korea and Malaysia in their first ever win. Congratulations to them, to James Konan. And, well, the pictures talk for themselves, don't they? That means a lot for this young squad. And that'll be the photo on the South China Morning Post tomorrow morning. There's Andrew Hall over the back there as the sun comes down here. Happy faces, happy parents, happy fans here at the football club. So just wrapping up here at the football club. You can catch us on Facebook at asia.rugby. If you haven't liked us already, follow us on there and follow Hong Kong through to the Cook Islands matches June 30th. We're also on Instagram at Asia Rugby Live. And finally, we're on Twitter at Asia Rugby. And don't forget, Hong Kong will be appearing in the World Cup Rugby Sevens in San Francisco in July, followed by the Asia Rugby 7 Series in September and October. 3 legs, Hong Kong, Korea and Sri Lanka, the best of Asian rugby. And there's Dylan Rogers with his little lady. Can he fit her? Can he fit her in the mug? I'm not sure if that's very hygienic for the cup or young Rogers.
Oh, I'm cramping.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us throughout this series. Congratulations to Hong Kong. I want to thank my co-commentator, Jed Thyon, and everybody for joining us. Thank you very much. See you for Cook Islands, June 30th, and good night.